Hi, welcome to our 13th week of digital distance learning. This week we are going to be focusing on linear equations and reviewing everything we have learned up to this point so we can prepare ourselves for linear inequalities. Before we do, remember you need a piece of paper and a pencil so you can take notes and send a picture to me after you're done with the video. And of course, if you need help, please reach out. You know where to find me. You can email me, call me, text me, or write to me on Google Classroom. Of course, there's always class. Let's get started. In this lesson, we are going to do four main things. Number one, we are going to read word problems. Find that important information in them, that critical information. Number two, we are going to write linear equations. We are going to use that y equals mx plus b we remember seeing a long time ago. Next, we are going to explain the slope and the y-intercept. What is the slope? What does it mean? Not just what is the number, but what does it mean in real life? What does it represent? The same for the y-intercept. And finally, of course, we want to solve algebraically. We want to use that equation to answer questions about the problem. So let's take a look at problem number one. Problem number one of 3 total is called pet sitting. And it says for pet sitting, a student charges $10 plus $5 per hour. We are going to do 3 things with this information. Number one, we are going to write an equation for the cost, C, after H hours of babysitting. Number two, we are going to explain what the slope and the y-intercept represent. And finally, we are going to answer how much money will she make after she pet sits for 5 hours. Well, let's take a look at the equation. A student charges $10, so we know she is going to ask us for the house call alone to pay $10 plus $5 every hour. So that means that maybe she works 2 hours. That would be 5 times 2, $10. Or she works 3 hours, 5 times 3. $5 per hour, that signifies that you are going to have some form of multiplication to do here. Some form of adding to that number by itself over and over. Therefore, our equation is the cost, C, is equal to 5 times the number of hours plus 10. And in order to figure out what the slope and the y-intercept mean, we have to remember that the slope is the coefficient of the variable, the number in front of the x, or in this case, the h. We are looking at the 5 as our slope. And then for b, our y-intercept is going to be the constant, the 10. Let's start with slope. The slope represents an increase. Increase means up, right? The amount of money is going up. $5 for every 1 hour. You could say $10 for 2 hours, $15 for 3 hours, but it is an increase of $5 for every 1 hour that passes. And the y-intercept, the 10 on the other hand, means that the cost starts at $10. Even if she does not pet sit, even if she does not spend any time alone with this pet, she is still charging $10 just to go to the house because she has to pay for gas or public transportation to get there. Let's take a look and see if we can use this information we have figured out to solve the question that was asked of us. How much money will she make if she pet sits for 5 hours? Well, we know 5 hours is the variable. It's what we want to put into our equation, which is C equals 5h plus 10. So I'm going to say C equals 5 times 5 plus 10. And 5 times 5 is 25 plus 10 is $35. She will make $35 for pet sitting for 5 hours, which is not that much, but it's nice little extra cash. Now problem 2 of 3 is our musical talent. A musical duo charges $15 for a Zoom concert and $17 for individualized recording. So what do we need to do? We need to write an equation for the cost C after buying S songs. We need to explain what the slope and the y-intercept represent. And we need to say how many songs can we buy for $50? Well, let's start with the equation. $15 for a Zoom concert and $17 per song. $17 per song. Per signifies or means that you're going to have to say 17, maybe plus 17 if we want 2 songs, or 17 times 2. You might say 17 times 3 if you want 3 songs, or 17 times 10 if you want 10 songs. So there is some form of multiplication there. There is a variable. And the variable is going to be S, 17 times S. 17 times the number of songs. Plus $15 because they charge you for the Zoom concert ahead of time. You want to see what kind of music you're buying, right? You got to listen to them. What does the slope and the y-intercept represent? We remember the slope is in front of the variable. In this case, our coefficient for S is 17. So I'm going to say that the slope represents an increase, it's going up, of $17 per song. And then the y-intercept, the constant that is by itself, represents the cost starting at $15. After 0 songs, you still have to pay $15. Now let's take a look here. How many songs can you buy for $50? This is going to be a little bit different from the first one. Because we have the equation C equals 17S plus 15, and we are asking about $50, we have to figure out, is the 50 the cost, or is the 50 the number of songs, the C or the S? Well, of course, 50 is the C, 50 is the cost. How many dollars are you going to spend total? 50 equals 17S plus 15, and we have to figure out what is the S. We have to isolate that variable. We're going to do so by subtracting 15 on both sides, which gives me 50 minus 35, and that is 30. 50 minus 15, and that is 35, equals 17S. We divide by 17 on both sides, and we are left with 2.05 songs, which is not really something you can buy, right? I mean, if I buy 2 songs and 0.5 of a song, 0.05 of a song, what? That doesn't make sense. So that means you can buy 2 songs and then you're done. You might have a little money extra. In this problem, we are talking about exercise. An online exercise website during COVID-19 is charging $25 to join and $5 per month. It's the closest thing to going to the gym if you want to work out. We need to do 3 things. Number 1, we need to write an equation for the cost C after M months of membership. We need to explain the slope and the y-intercept, that's number 2. And number 3, we need to figure out how much money it will cost after 9 months. So let's get started. This is easy. I see $5 per month. $5 per month means that $5 every month. $5 for 1 month, $5 extra the next, so $10 for 2, and $15 for 3. And if you keep going, you just multiply 5 times the number of months, right? Well, our equation, therefore, is C, the cost, is equal to 5 times M, 5 times the number of months, plus 25. 25 is how much money you have to join, not to start working out every month, but just to join, just to be a part of this website. And let's get started explaining the slope and the y-intercept. We remember the slope is 5. It is the number in front of the variable that is called a coefficient. And this tells us that the slope represents an increase of $5 for every month. Increase means up, decrease means down. And we have been focusing on increase because in every one of these examples, we're adding more and more money to the cost. But if you have a bank account that is losing money, then you would say minus, right? Let's take a look at the 25. That is our y-intercept. The y-intercept represents the cost starting at $25. So after 0 months, you still pay $25. And finally, how much money will it cost after 9 months? Well, if I use my equation, 9 months is going to be the M, 5 times 9. And I know 5 times 9 is 45, plus $25 that it costs to join is $70 total. So it will cost me $70 to be part of this gym, of this website for online exercise for 9 months. I hope that was helpful. I hope this answers some of the questions we've been having for so long. And if you are still confused, please reach out for help. But let's go ahead and practice this type of problem so we can get really good at it and begin solving linear inequalities next week. Bye!